Hi YouTube. So in this video I'll be resuming with my deep house tutorial 1A. You can go watch it if you haven't from the link on the display right now. That's where we started the song that we're gonna be completing today, and then I'll quickly finish up building on the melody, adding a few sounds and some more packs to the drum kit, and then quickly after that we can now do our pre-mastering. We can do our mixing and then mastering itself. So let's quickly get into the business of the day. So this is what we currently had. So let me just quickly play this. And then let's try to adjust our swing to give the song a bit of groove to around 40%, just to give the song a groovy vibe. So now what we should have done before is that in most deep house songs they use chords, they build up chords, and then mostly they use those chords in sounds such as pianos, keys, and also brasses. So because I want a sharp sound, I'm gonna go for a brass, but then instead of using single notes, I'm gonna use plucked chords, short plucked chords. So let's try and look for a brass. I'm gonna go to purity, just go to the brass, just try to pick a random brass, say this one, and then just send it to a channel. Alright, cool. So now looking at what we already have as our ghost notes here, I'm gonna try playing on these lower ones, but then because it's a brass, usually it plays on the higher notes, so I'm just gonna transpose it afterwards. So yeah, hold control and then an arrow down or up to transpose. So that's it. Alright, let's duplicate that. Alright, let's duplicate it again. And then again. So what I usually do most of the times is when I'm running out of ideas, after completing a single bar, then I can just duplicate it to fill up the whole 4 bars that I'm working on. But then sometimes you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it all the time for all the sounds, because the song is gonna sound very repetitive. So I'm just gonna hold Control then B, and then yeah. So to avoid repetition, let's try playing around with this, what we did here. So let's listen to our sounds. So I'm gonna transpose these ones down. Then let's try to remove the bass out of it. Notes here right in the middle are sounding so low, so we can increase the velocity. Yeah, we can increase the velocity just like that. We can try to add a different source of bass, but then I usually use the Fruity DX10 for my basses, especially with Afro Tech and Deep House. So because we've used the log drum, I'd go to the E flute, but then now I'm gonna show you another hint that you should normally I mean you can use it most of the times. So let's try to solo this metal bars and then play it along with the kick. So let's just put in some notes here. Let's put in some notes. So you can use this ghost notes as your guideline. That's basically what I'm doing here. As you can see, the ghost notes, I'm referring to these highlighted portions here. So I'm just gonna use these as my guidelines. Let's try that. So now I've completed my first bar, so I'm just gonna hold Control B to duplicate it. So the trick I wanted to show you is to tweak these in a way that you want your bass line to sound. As you can hear, it's sounding very low at the moment, but then we can tweak it to make it sound however you want. So to give it a more punchy sound, I'm just gonna play around with this. I think this is abbreviation for attack, so I'm just gonna tweak that and then take the delay to about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere there, and then tweak that one to like 9 o'clock, somewhere there. Take the time somewhere to 8, 7 o'clock, and then the subs can just lower it down somewhere there. So now let's play along with our track. Actually, let me mute these ones again and then add something. Since the bass line is too low, add like a percussion to it. There's some nice percussions here on Toxic Biohazard. I don't want to open up the packs that I have, so I'm just gonna take out a percussion from Toxic Biohazard. So let's try this one. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna copy what I have here, Control C and then Control V to paste it over there, because I wanna give the bass a high end, because the metal bass itself, it sounds very low. So this is how it sounds now. So now let's add a pad, which I believe we should have started with. I'm gonna go to pads and choose a random pad, analog. Yeah, it's fine. Sounds very soft and low. Go to piano raw. Actually, since we just picking up the dense piano, you just can go simply copy these notes and then paste them down here. And then turn the volume down a bit. So and then yeah, that's more or less a deep house song, but then I can make it more groovy and then change the subgenre from deep house to a lot more Afro house song or soulful. So I'm no longer sticking to the genre, so I'm just gonna give you some ideas on how to go around, you know, playing with FL Studio. So I'm just gonna add a guitar to it. I love the guitars that Purity has. So I'm just gonna go to guitars. Let's try any guitar here. So apologies, I know I'm not sticking to the genre. It's not gonna sound like a deep house, because most deep house songs, I don't think they have too many plugged sounds such as guitars, but I just feel like I can put it in and blend in with the song. And I hope that you guys are gonna learn some ideas and apply it on your songs. So when it comes to guitars, what I usually do is that I just follow these highlighted notes. So that's my first bar. I can just go hold Control and then B to duplicate it. First I loop the section that I want to duplicate by holding Control and then left click and then drag it all the way there, and then Control B until it duplicates till where you want it to stop. So yeah, that's my plugged guitar. It sounds more or less like Soulful House now. So I'm just giving you guys ideas on how to make house sounds. So that's the song. Now we just finished building on our melody, the song itself. It's a complete song now. So now what I usually do is, before I stack up the patterns on my piano, on my track list, I just simply go to the mastering as it is now, because this is where I have all the sounds playing together. So I can quickly go to mastering now, actually pre-mastering, and then add everything to the mixer and then master it afterwards. So let's quickly do that. Try to mix our drums. So my kick is there. Let me just go rename that kick. So I usually like my kicks to be around 12 and 15 decibels. It's like negative 12 and 15. So now I'm just gonna remove some lows of it, because I want my bass line to be my source of bass, and then cut off some highs. Just cut off a bit of lows here and some highs. So that's my kick. So now I'm gonna go to the other drums. Now I have my heads, my percussions. So I'm just gonna stack my percussions to one channel. So that's 6. This is the percussion as well. I'm gonna put it on 6, and then also the shaker is on channel 6. So now with my head, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add what we call a verb send over here. I'm just gonna explain this now. So the reason why I add what we call a verb send over here is because I don't wanna be adding a reverb to each and every channel. So I can just put the reverb on one channel and then route every channel that I wanted to add a reverb to it to the verb send. So I'm just gonna go to the verb send channel, add a reverb. Now that's our reverb. You can just tweak this a bit to give the sounds you are adding reverb to. You wanna give them that tone and that echo-ish sound. So now let's go to our heads, and then you wanna put your mouse over this and then scroll up. As you can hear, we are applying reverb to the heads now. So yeah, just give it a bit of flavor there. Do that for the percussions as well. So that sounds fine for now. So with the volumes, they sound okay right now. So now what we can do is we can now play our pads, our sustaining drone notes. Go to 7, and then what I want to do is I want to reserve my high ends for the bass. So if you can carefully look at this spectrum here, you can notice that the sound is playing over the mid ranges. So I'm just gonna cut off the highs and the lows, and then leave the mid ranges. So now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add the dance piano to the piano roll. The reason why I usually go to this drop down menu and assign free mixer is because it's gonna automatically name the channel to what the sound is. So I'm gonna go to my EQ, look at the spectrum, and then apply a high cut. So the idea is to reserve the low ends and the high ends for the heads and other high sounds. So now we can go to our pad, add it to a mixer, then EQ it. High pass, reserve the lower ends and the high ends as well. Sorry, it should be low pass actually. I don't know if there's any shortcut to this, but yeah, you just have to go sound by sound. And then now what we can do is we can add our bass line as the track is clean, so we can carefully master it. Assign to free mixer, and then go to the EQ, cut off the high ends. Now we're gonna go cut off the high ends of our log drum, and then heighten go scroll here until it's a shelf. That's not it. I think that's a shelf. So now you wanna go to step 8 and then heighten this low side to give it more punchy bass. And then now we're done with our log drum. That's the brass. So usually the brass is playing at the mid ranges and lows. So you wanna go cut your lows, and then add a fruity convolver. So what I'm doing now is I'm playing around with these volumes to get the right levels, which is mixing, and also pre-mastering, which I'm doing over this bar right here. So now I want to go to my next sound, which was the string. So the string is usually playing in the mid ranges, so I'm gonna go cut my lows and cut my highs, and then heighten the mid ranges. There's really no formula to what I'm doing, so it's all up to how you want your sounds to sound like, but then it's helpful for you to know what you're actually doing. And yeah, so now I'm gonna go to that, just cut the highs and leave the lows as they are. Should be a high pass. Need more bass for this. Okay, that's already on our channel. Just a bit of more volume. Now that's our second bass line. Now let's remove the since this is a percussion, remember this was a percussion, so we can just add a reverb to it. And then lower down the volume. Cut the highs. Cut the lows, lower down the volume. For our guitar, we all know our guitar is playing in the mid ranges, so I'm gonna cut down the lows and the highs. So you just need to make sure that you get your levels right, and then when you've added everything to the mixer, all the sounds, you don't go beyond this 6 decibel level. Also, actually I left these sounds over here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go add the crash, that's channel 17, and then add this reverse to it as well. So what I'm gonna do to it is I'm gonna add reverb to it, and then also delay. So now let's go about arranging our song here, since we're done with everything. Before we master, let's go about arranging our song here. So I'm just gonna take these down. And then mute these tracks. This is the main channel where I have everything playing, so I'm gonna go rename that to main channel, main pattern. Alright, cool, whatever name you wanna name it, just for reference. So I'm just gonna go select green. Cool, that's our main pattern. I'm not gonna try temper and go split these sounds, so I'm just gonna go copy, then go to the next channel, which is pattern 2, leave it as it is, and then paste. So now I've got the main pattern with everything, and then pattern 2 as a duplicate. So this pattern 2 is the pattern that I'm gonna go paste on this track list instead of main pattern, so that I don't tap around with it. So now I can just go split pattern 2, split by channel. There we go. Now we've got the individual channels, and then now the main pattern is still as it is. It still has all the sounds, but then as we move now, we've got the individual sounds. So that's what I usually do. I just want to try preserve my original channel as the main channel and not temper around with it. So that's what you can learn as well. So now this is what I have. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna duplicate everything. Okay, that should be enough for the purpose of this tutorial. So I'm gonna mute each and every sound, and then make sure that everything is playing over here. Okay, everything is playing. Now we're good. So most deep house songs, they start off with kicks. So the kick is always the starting sound usually. So that's what I'm gonna start off with as well in this tutorial, and then try also to start off with a pad and then the dance piano. Okay, it sounds fine. And then now I'm gonna go to my dance piano and then create an automation clip for the volume, so that the dance piano comes in gradually. So I'm just gonna play around with this waveform over here. Alright. Now what I'm gonna do is at the mark of 17, you can introduce whatever drum kit you want here, but then on the mark of 17 you have to make sure it's not a necessity, but then at least introduce a sound over here. So we can choose to introduce maybe this one, and then make a bit of a mini break over here, and then add your crashes. These are the crashes. I can't find the reverse one. Alright, there we go. Cool. Okay, that one is a bit harsh, so let's try to add a different sound. Let's try to add a different sound. Okay, maybe let's add the second pad, and then also some heads. Okay, sounds fine. And then let's delete these ones. Usually at the mark of 33, what I do is I put in my bass line now, and maybe a bit of percussions. I think percussion should have been somewhere here. Now let's duplicate this. So notice my track arrangement. I'm going in sequences, I mean in steps of 2, intervals of 2, what can I call this? These are actually 4 bars. 4 bars. So after 8 bars, I'm introducing something new. 8 bars, and then another 8 bars, and then another 8 bars, and then another 8 bars as well. So yeah. So now maybe after 8 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can now introduce a different sound element together with a pack. So let's try introducing the brass, and also, okay, let's leave the shakers for now, because shakers are for when the track is at its climax. that's the track arrangement. I hope you're getting a few ideas. So the thing is, you have to be working in steps of 8 bars. So yeah, I've got 8 bars. So let me introduce a guitar somewhere here. Make a mini break over here, and then take my risers. These are my risers, and then bring them over here. So what I'm gonna do with these strings, these are my strings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look this section, my strings, it's the choir and then the purity 2. I'm gonna put them in the same choir and purity 2. I'm gonna go route them into the same mixer, into the same channel. So I'm just gonna manually do it. So you go and route it from the master, and then go route it at the channel that is free, and then go unroute the choir as well, and then route this one, and then route it to channel 21. So the reason why I'm doing it is I want to apply automation clip to channel 21, which will be the choir and the purity 2. Instead of applying an automation clip here and then another automation clip here, I want to group them first and then apply what I want to apply to one track, which is going to be applying to both of them indirectly in some sense. So yeah, that's my string. Yeah, so I'm gonna go create automation clip, and then yeah, what you can also do to play around with the track here is you can make a mini break and then get rid of a single sound. And then get rid of the guitar as well, maybe. And then now we're preparing for the major break. So that's the major break. Now you can remove some drums. sizes to this side. So now I think you figured more ideas on track arrangement. That's just a simple track arrangement I've made. So yeah, catch you guys on my next video where I'll be doing mastering, and that'll be it for the track.